Hello everybody. So today we are going to start a poem. The name of the poem is Meadow Surprises. Now before reading or before going through the poem, have you ever been to a grassland? Perhaps. And have you noticed any beautiful things? May or may not be, isn't it? But here is a poet whose name is Louis Brainerd Phillips, who is a very keen observer, and at the same time he has a sharp ear too, and recorded each and everything in a beautiful way and presented a beautiful poem for us. So without wasting any time, devour yourself into the beautiful world of natural beauty which is in store for us in this poem. So here we go, and before we start there is a snippet, or you can say a small introduction part given. So let us read it aloud first, and after that we will go through the poem also. So walk across a green field, a park, or even under a clump of trees, and you will notice many wonderful things. What are some of the surprises a meadow has for someone with a keen eye and a sharp ear? Now here is a question mark given also. Now if you really want to notice the beauty of nature, you need have to keen eye and a sharp ear too. Otherwise you will unnoticed it. We do sometimes, even in our homes, we unnoticed many things. Can you tell me the wall clock hanging, what is the color of that dial, or what is written on that dial? Many of you won't be able to do or able to tell. What is the color of the wall sitting in front of you? Perhaps most of the people unnoticed it, couldn't remember. However, they spend most of the time in the houses, and many of the things they have unnoticed or not have gone through very keenly, or you can say very deeply. And so the poet urges us to become a keen observer. So walk across a green field. When we walk across a green field or even a park, if we just move on the park, there are also many beautiful things. The nature is itself wrapped in a beauty. Nothing is much more beautiful than the nature. So in order to appreciate the nature, we need to have keen eye and a sharp ear. So for your sake of concern, I have given the Hindi meaning also, so that you can able to understand it in a much more easily. Now coming to the poem, meadows have surprises. You can find them if you look. Walk softly through the velvet grass and listen by the brook. Now meadows have surprises. Now what do you mean by surprises? You can say gift. Meadows have gift. You can say it has a wonderful things. It wrapped many wonderful things in store for us also. It gives a visual trait until and unless we really urges it, we really require it, then only we can feel its presence. Now suppose if you walk on the grass, we have not felt that on the grass seems to be so velvet, so soft, isn't it? Now here velvet grass has been used as a metaphor. What is metaphor? We will discuss it later on the poetic devices. When we will read the poetic devices, we will discuss what is metaphor. So for now, velvet has been compared to soft, the softness of the grass. Now you may see a butterfly. Even in the park or grassland, you can see butterfly. Have you seen a butterfly? Its wings? Isn't it beautiful? Yes, it's so beautiful, amazing, as if some experienced craft person or artist has beautifully painted its wing. If you just observe it keenly, you will find it out that how beautiful it is. So you may see a butterfly rest upon a buttercup. Now what is buttercup? Buttercup is just some sort of flower, yellow flower, and its petals are yellow, and butterfly used to sit on the flowers. You must have seen many butterflies sitting on the flowers, and unfold its drinking straws to sip the nectar up. Now again here a metaphor has been used, drinking straws. Does a butterfly uses drinking straws? Perhaps not. Here drinking straws refer to the part, or you can say the body part of a butterfly known as proboscis. So it uses its proboscis to sip up the nectar. Now nectar is a fluid present in the flower. It takes the nectar up. Now you may scare a rabbit. In the grassland you may find a rabbit. Oof, so pretty rabbit, isn't it? White fur. So you may scare. Now how you will scare? Now suppose if you are moving on a grassland, there will be foot sound, and out of that you may scare a rabbit. And what will it do? It will hop and it will hide somewhere. It will run from that place. So who is sitting very still? Till now, when you were not there, it was sitting very still. But once you just move and it is scared, and out of scare, it will run. Though at first you may not see him. It might be possible that at first we will not see him because it is sitting very still, hiding from us. Now when he hops, you will definitely, when he hops and run, it may be came into sight. A dandelion whose fuzzy head was golden days ago. Now dandelion is another, it is a wild flower, you can say. Here I have given the picture also of white dandelion. I am marking it out for you. This one is a dandelion. When it dries up, now see, at first it is golden yellow color. Now when it dries up, it changes into like this. So you may see a dandelion whose fuzzy head. Now this is called fuzzy head. This is fuzzy head. So a dandelion whose fuzzy head was golden days ago. Now earlier it was golden color. Has turned to airy parachutes. Now it has turned into airy parachutes. If we move to the next slide, I can show you that this is the life cycle of dandelion. Now this is the life cycle of dandelion. First you can see this. After that the petals will come out. Now petals will get dried up, it becomes this, and after that airy parachute, these things are about to float in the air. Is flown in the airflow like this. Okay, so a dandelion whose fuzzy head was golden days ago has turned to airy parachutes. It has turned to airy parachute, like parachute is, it flew in the air that flutters when you blow. Now flutters, the flew movement of the you blow. It's flew when you blow. So moving further, now coming to the next slide, explore the meadows houses. Now there are many houses. You can, if you observe it carefully, you can find many houses, the burrows in the ground. Now who makes burrows? Generally rabbits, You can find the burrows of snakes, rats, a nest beneath a tall grass, and even you can find the nest of the birds also. The ants' amazing mound, and you can find the ants' mounds also, a house of ants. It's a mound. I want to show you the picture of the mound. This is mound. This is mound. For your sake of concern, I am just zooming in the picture. Now this is mound. Isn't it beautiful? How it has been crafted so beautifully. The small tiny ant, they pile up the mud to make such a beautiful house for themselves, isn't it? Oh, meadows have surprises. Definitely meadows have surprises and many things to tell. There are so many things. The poet has, you can say, find out these things. You can find much more than that. You may discover this yourself. You may find. And for that you need to what? Look and listen well. Then you will be able to discover the beauty of the nature and so many things, so many surprises in the meadow. Now we will move further to the poetic devices. What are the poetic devices that has been used? And the first poetic device is metaphor. Now what is metaphor? A metaphor is a figure of speech. It is generally a figure of speech, a literary device that describe an object or action in a way that isn't literally true. As I have told you that drinking straws. Does a butterfly carry a drinking straw with them in their pocket? And whenever they just sit on a flower, they take out the drinking straws and started sipping out? No, not at all. So literally it isn't true, but it makes us to give an idea and help us to explain an idea or make a comparison. So it is a sort of indirect comparison. So what are the metaphor that has been used in the poem are: number one, velvet grass. Now velvet grass has been used to represent the softness of the grass. Second is drinking straw. Now drinking straw has been compared to the sucking tube of the butterfly, is also known as proboscis. Airy parachutes. Now airy parachutes, the dandelions are being compared to parachutes. Just as parachutes fly anywhere the wind blows, in the same way dandelion move about, isn't it? Moving further. Now second, you can say, poetic device is alliteration. Now what is alliteration? Alliteration is a literary device that reflects repetition in two or more nearby words of initial consonant sound. Generally the first letter of the two words or three words, or maybe more than that, the first letter consonant sounds is being repeated. Like in the poem we have seen by the brook. Now if you see the first letter of by and the first letter of the brook, here B is repeated. You may scare a rabbit who is sitting very still. Now if you look closely, here repetition of letter S is there, isn't it? Scare, sitting and still. He hops. Yes, very good. H and H is being repeated. And many things to tell. The things to tell. Here T, T and T, the letter T is repeated. If you look and listen, L for look and L for listen, letter L is repeated. Now the next literary term is assonance. A new word, assonance. Now assonance, or you can say vowel rhyme, is the repetition of vowel sound. So repetition of vowel sound across a line of text or poetry. The word have to be near enough Mind it, the word have to be near enough to each other that the similar vowel sound are noticeable. It should be very near enough, like ants amazing mound. Now if you go the line ants amazing mound, so you will find ant, the repetition of a and a, the vowel a is being repeated, and both are very similar and very near. The next word is consonance. What is consonance? A consonance is a stylistic literary device identified by repetition of identical or similar consonants. Now, assonance is referred to the repetition of vowel rhymes, and consonance is the repetition of consonant sound. And the similarity is that both should be near enough, isn't it? An identical or similar consonant in the neighboring words whose vowel sounds are different. Ants amazing mound. Now if you look amazing mound, the sound of M can be heard amazing mound. Moving further, now we will look the difference or similarity of assonance and consonance. Assonance is similar to consonance in that the sound can be repeated at the beginning, middle or end of the words in close proximity to each other. However, assonance refer to repetition of vowel sound, not consonant. So assonance may be the sound comes from the first, maybe from the middle, or maybe from the last. In the same way consonance also, but assonance refers to the sound of vowels, whereas consonant refer to the sound of consonant. Hope you have understood this. Now we will move to the text question answer. Read the lines in which the following phrases occur. Then discuss with your partner the meaning of each phrases in its context. First one is velvet grass. Now velvet grass refers to the softness of the grass. So here off spelling is mistake. Let me correct it. So here off is mistake. It should be OF. Off. Drinking straws. Now drinking straws refer to sucking tube of butterfly, which is also known as proboscis. Meadows houses. Meadows houses refer to the various habitats of animals, birds and insects living in the meadows. Amazing mound. Amazing mound refer to the house created by the ants for their dwellings. Next, fuzzy head. Fuzzy head, remember the dandelion? Yes. Fuzzy head refer to the head of dandelion flower made up of many small golden yellow flowers that get dried up and blown away by air as small like parasites. The second question, which line in the poem suggests that you need a keen eye and a sharp ear to enjoy a meadow? Read aloud the stanza that contains this line. So first of all, we will trace out the line and after that the stanza. So the line that asks us to be alert to enjoy being in the meadow is, you may discover this yourself if you look and listen well. So this is the line which tells us, or you can say the poet urges us to be very alert in order to appreciate the beauty of nature. And a stanza which contains this line is, oh, meadows have surprises and many things to tell. You may discover this yourself if you look and listen well. Now some more extra, you can say, question answer we are going to do, and here we have stanza. Read the extract given below and answer the following questions. Meadows have surprises. You can find them if you look. Walk softly through the velvet grass and listen by the brook. You may see a butterfly rest upon a buttercup and unfold its drinking straws to sip the nectar. So how beautifully he has written, isn't it? So why is it a great pleasure to walk through a meadow? It is a great pleasure to walk through the meadow because its grass is as soft as a velvet. That gave one a pleasant walk, isn't it? If you walk on the velvet, how you feel? It's amazing. You will feel pleasant. You can say you will be amazed. The softness of the velvet, and similarly, the softness of the grass is as soft as, you can say, the velvet one. The next question, what do you mean by drinking straws in the poem? Now, drinking straws refer to the sucking tube of butterfly, which is also known as proboscis. Now, which is the word in the tract that means liquid sweet juice? The liquid sweet juice is the nectar, and nectar of a flower, you can say. So, nectar means liquid sweet juice. The next stanza is the burrows in the ground, a nest beneath tall grasses, the ants amazing mound. Oh, meadows have surprises and many things to tell. You may discover this yourself if you look and listen well. So, which houses have been described in the meadow surprises? So, which houses have been described? You can see the burrows, nest, mound. So these are the houses has been described. So a poet has described the meadow houses of rabbit, birds and ants. Moving further, what is amazing about the mound of the ants? Now the mounds of ants are made up of such a soft soil as it is extremely difficult to pile the way the ants do. We won't be able to do it. It is the skill of the ant to pile up the soft soils and turn it to a mound. They work very diligently to create their houses, which looks quite amazing. Now, what is the word which means same as whole given in this tract? You know, burrows. So what is the rhyming scheme of the given tract? Now, rhyming scheme of the given tract, if you want, you will go to the poem to understand. Let me tell you. Now, if you look ground, the burrows in the ground, suppose we have given A to this. A nest beneath tall grasses, ground grasses does not match. So we will write B here. The ant amazing mound. Now if you ground mound, so it sounds similar. A. So we will write A for the third line. Oh, meadows have surprises. Grasses, surprises. It sounds similar, isn't it? So, what you have seen? It's AB, AB. So, what is the rhyming scheme of the given tract? It's AB, AB. Next, who is the poet of the poem Meadow Surprises? Now, who is the poet? The name of the poet of the poem Meadow Surprises is Louis Brander Phillips. What turns into airy parachutes? The petals of the dandelion turns into airy parachutes. What distinct, extraordinary gift of nature are available in meadows? Definitely the beautiful sight, velvet grass, butterflies sipping nectar, houses of various insects, birds and animals give a visual treat to the onlookers, isn't it? And this is the, you can say, surprise. And we can discover many more surprises in the meadow. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you for watching.